Please welcome Margo Berdeshevsky.
Greetings all, and thank you so much, Elena, for inviting me. It's lovely to be back with you again. It's been, 2 years since I was in Los Angeles, seeing one another face to face, and now internationally. As a friend of mine sent me a note a couple of minutes ago saying, "You are the Zoom lady international." So here I am. It's 5:30 in the morning, or it was when we began. It's 5:30 in the morning here in Paris. And hello world, greetings. I'm going to start by reading 2 poems from the forthcoming book from Salon Poetry, and then I'll read from Before the Drought. And I'll dive right in. Kneel, said the night. I sell mirrors in the city of the blind. Kabir. Kneel, said the night, her full-paunched moon, mute as I am. Ask for words, said the night instead. Instead, a turning autumn path, where the shepherd and his dog led their X-marked flock, where morning's cry is 100 made single bleat, made soon 1,000 dry-leafed whispers, made sunrise to its lover, the breeze. The lambs and sheep are X'd for killing. Hurry their soiled white woolen bodies as one towards sun. Slaughter ahead, but not yet. And my own marked tongue, taut like a wound watch, ticks trees, ticks bodies, ticks the veiled and the beheaded, ticks presidents, ticks light, ticks stain I cannot say or bend, ticks last year's dead. This morning's mute as a moon killed, the lambs will be meat before any plea is answered. The reddening forest can hear, urges syllables like breath to a fire, can speak to lamb, leaf, path, moss, stone. It can. Then I, land I mouth, hill of the dead, as if a voice. I have heard of ancient bones unearthed mere roads away from here. Skeleton of sounds. Poem, kneel, said the night. Kneel with me now, with the slaughtered sheep, in case there might be any reply. In solidarity. From the winter of. One of these is true. All the animals were making love. It was the day for it. All the other animals but a wolf, who hid listening to the slide trombone of his own breath, who lay in a dim room, quiet, but for the simmer of breaths of the lovers outside. It was their day. There was no lock on the room, only a belief that he was meant to lie in the silence, breathe in the dim, not meant to question, no howling, no questions. He slept, warmed by the high fever of his belief. Once upon a time, there were bodies strewn and none to gather them. It was a massacre. That's why we remember the day. Death had shot and gotten away with it. That's what survivors said, warmed by the high fever of their belief. It was one single arrow of passion, and Eros was good with it, a winner, whom it struck, loved, and was loved in return, until it hurt the heart. No questions were allowed. The poison of love was a perfect killer. Everyone wanted to taste the poison, warmed by the high fever of their belief. Once upon a time, there was a peaceful body born, who loved everyone and everything on earth and in the air. No one had taught her. She would lie down in silence on a road or a field to stop bullets or souls. She believed in the power of her thought. If warriors came with flags and swords and bombs and God on their side, stop, said her naked woman body, paused in the path of their attacks. She's on fire, observers saw, and loving her. Stop, said the covens of owls. Stop, said a murder of crows. Stop, said eyes from branches to the east, branches to the west. Stop, said the hawk who loved wars. Stop, murmured the dove who knew the hawk very well. And her naked body whispered, God does not love warriors. A whisper that pierced their hearts, that wanted to be loved by their own God. There, whispered the woman, looking to a sky she believed she saw. Do you know what to do now, God? Warmed by the high fever of her belief. One of these is true, or almost, a gift from the winter. I move now, thank you. I move now to a few poems from before the draft. 351,000 souls and counting. Souls whose lives have left their bodies from an illness the American president, who is about to depart, thank God, insisted was just going away. One small note leading into this poem. A woman I once knew many years ago when I lived in the Hawaiian Islands wrote to me here in Paris, out of the blue, after I had not heard from her for 10 or 15 years. And the note said that by the time I received her letter, she might no longer be in the body. And I began to write a poem, not knowing if it might be a reply to her still, or an elegy. By the time I'd finished the poem, I learned it was the latter. Dusk. This is the place. No chairs. A woman who is choosing has sent a petal from her bloom of conscious closing. The woman who is choosing when scratches vellum. The rook stands, the woman in the nest of the phoenix, hovers nearer her edge, like that brood of birthing opal-throated pigeons in an empty flower trough, thirsty one stare above my sill, breaking their shells one by one. She repeats my words from dusk in a jungle where medicine leaned, small, against thorn trees. Each poison growing in a forest lives beside its antidote, we said. I am still eager, I said, or the scent of hyacinth. The woman remembering, who is choosing when to die, will curl before leaves have blood-burned September. Surrender by starvation. She doesn't name her illness, only how many days. 3 more. The woman in worn white cotton washed us in a tide pool, brewed petals shouted under egrets at the edge of rain. Bon voyage to me, and love life as you live it. She scribbles blue before her breath ends a night and a day and the broken slant dawn. The woman who was choosing when to die. Too young to be skeletal. Skin taken wing. Bone no longer needed.
It is incredible.
Shall I wait until you finish speaking? Or turn off your mic.
Wow,
Susan,
amazing.
Susan, turn off the mic, please.
The woman remembering who is choosing when to die will curl before leaves have blood-burned September. Surrender by starvation. She doesn't name her illness, only how many days. 3 more. The woman in worn white cotton washed us in a tide pool, brewed petals, shouted under egrets at the edge of rain. Bon voyage to me, and love life as you live it. She scribbles blue before her breath ends a night and a day and the broken slant dawn. The woman who was choosing when to die. Too young to be skeletal, skin taken wing, bone no longer needed. Dove, fire-eyed, distant, opal. The root does not care where her water comes from. Here is another thirsty body, broken into mourning. But here is my body, invisible on our lake, our dreamscape, the old blue heron lands. Beak of my hunger, beak of her hunger, beak of her mothering. Mother me, I say. I'm her body of surrender waiting. I'm her body of hunger waiting. Her body of danger waiting under the 5 million star fall night. Mother, I cry. You promised kinder dreams. You promised sleep. Be kind, you said, before you surrendered, before you climbed the starfall. This night won't last, you said. I'm the heron, I'm the lake at peace. Our vine leads to you, you said. Your body of surrender waiting. I whisper, the blue heron will feed us. Blue dawn will delete us. Peace. Our bodies will sleep. Our danger will sleep. I will love you, you said. That was my promise before. Our lake waits. Don't cry, I said. Here's my body, I said. Sleep. The hungry beaks will feed, even sparrows, winged ones. Our old promise is kept this night, this dangerous, last, mothering us night. And lastly, also from the book Before the Drought, this is a blason, and it was written to honor a poet I loved when he was still alive, and I love him from beyond now. The poet is W.S. Merwin. Blason. If I'd known you when the island first scraped my foot soles, its sheer thumbs, hungry fishes, known you when its thin stones first fell to my hands, under waterfalls and the wide-winged black frigate's flight watched, if I was learning, if I knew you then, knew how to listen. It was as syllables of a road I hadn't pronounced yet, but I would. It has taken small houses, roads you lived beyond one noon, while winter fell in your garden. You sent me to this one, this rim of a water that knows there are islands in the long clouds, that know the herds of lost poets, their harsh songs of desire, and how it hurts not to sing them. In the silence of rooms you built, with syllables and fires and vixens and nights, my steps listen to winds and the bats guiding light to your garden's wet growing, even without eyes, in such a quiet, elder, Celadon roads that have no names I can learn, except a scent of hawk, a carol of orioles bows. I bow to one who has parted weeds for me, even at a distance, parted hours. Let me walk slowly, hands open behind you. And that's for W.S. Carway.
Thank you.
And I'll come back later with more.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you,
gorgeous.
Margo.
Bravo. Merci beaucoup.
Merci à toi.
You read